Throughout the Middle Ages, there were two main reasons to visit St Andrews. First, the university, the third oldest in the English-speaking world. Second, religion, for St Andrews was the ecclesiastical capital of Scotland, the fabled place where St Regulus landed with the relics of St Andrew. But in the years since the Scottish Reformation, when the cathedral here was ruined, a new religion has been growing on the other side of this ancient town. It has travelled to all corners of the world, but its essence resides here. Perhaps its very spirit. I am told that there are those who do not like the golf at St Andrews, and they will no doubt deny any charm to the links themselves. This may be due to the fact that they have not brains enough or have not played it long enough to appreciate its many virtues. But there must surely be none who will deny a charm to the place as a whole. There are 5 courses on the spit of sandy ground that protrudes into the Eden estuary, but it is the old course which has been a paradise found for golfers for over half a millennia. To see St Andrews at its zenith, you must watch an Open Championship, when the big tents are erected away towards the sea, and the crowds assemble in their thousands, as the stage is set for the crucial test. The championship golfers return again and again to this indefatigable links, just as each generation of architect makes pilgrimage here in an attempt to coax out her beguiling secrets. Those who belong to the penal school of architecture are only too quick to condemn it, and suggest that its reputation is solely due to tradition. Indeed, there are many leading players who condemn the strategic aspect of golf, seeing only one line to the hole, the line of instinct, the direct line, and it should be clear of hazards. Well, at St Andrews, there is hardly a hole where the correct line is direct from tee to green. Instead, the line of charm should be sought, and the shorter, savvier player may close the gap on the long driver by using his sporty instincts. Not that there is ever one absolute way open to each hole. To choose a line of play is very much a choice of evils. The result of a misadventure is to make the next shot infinitely more difficult than it might otherwise have been. The hazards here are also different, but most golfers have an erroneous view of the real object of hazards. The majority look upon them as means of punishing a bad shot, whereas their real objective is to make the game more interesting. The subtle folds in the ground short of the greens govern the final result, especially when the going is fast. Unusual finesse is needed if the run of the ball is to be accurately judged. There are no shortage of bunkers, but with magnetic attraction they collect all in their vicinity. In short, the course is made by its undulations. The fairways are rarely bordered by long grass, which only makes for bad golfers, doing so by destroying the harmony and continuity of the game, and in causing a stilted and a cramped style, destroying all freedom of play. It is surprising to find how many of the dominating and important incident is associated with an insignificant looking hollow or bank, often running obliquely to your line of approach. Ideal holes should provide an indefinite variety of shots, according to the position of the tee, the situation of the flag, and the direction and strength of the wind. In describing these attributes, it is difficult to get away from the old course. Whilst the first may seem dull with no hazard in front of the tee and over 100 yards to hit into, it enables players to get away readily and is ideal in its own way. Yet owing to the curve of the burn, it is extremely interesting, and the line of play varies from day to day. The fourth green is guarded by a small, abrupt hillock about 15 feet across. I always thought the correct way to play the tee shot was to the right, but Joyce Weather had pointed out that from this position you can only reach the centre of the green. She plays left, short of the cottage bunker and then again against the hillock. It's swinging round very near the hole. I've never seen anyone else play the hole this way, but I am convinced that Joyce Weatherhead gets a 3 here more frequently than any living person. At one time, I thought the 10th hole was weak. Of poor length, there was over 100 yards to drive into and no bunker of any meaning. But in front of the green, there is a high bank sloping down toward and beyond the usual hole location. A pitch shot from a straight drive is stopped by the bank or runs far beyond. To the right, however, is a shaped valley running towards the hole. A drive placed opposite it can be fed in close. The 11th may be considered one of the ideal holes of the world. Under certain conditions, it is extremely difficult for even the best player that ever breathed, especially if he is attempting to get a 2. But at the same time, an inferior player may get a 4 if he plays his own game well. He might even putt the entire length of the hole. There is no hole that has been copied more frequently, but I do not know of a copy that has the same charm, interest, or the thrills of the original. While stood on the 12th tee, the green is clearly visible. Your caddy will tell you to play onto a heathery little hillock considerably to the left of the direct line. As you can apparently see the whole of the fairway between the tee and the green, it is difficult to believe that there is a series of hidden bunkers intervening. This is one of the great short fours, where any club can be taken from the tee, and danger lurks all around. The par 5 14th is generally admitted to be the best hole of its length in golf. Again, the hole is made by the slope of the green, a most marked tilt from left to right, so much so that it is impossible to approach near the hole from the right. Often overlooked, it is subtleties of this nature which make all the difference between a good course and bad. For many years, there were 4 main routes to play this hole: down the Elysian Fields or out left. What pleasurable excitement in seeing one shot sailing over hell. Bobby Jones discovered a 5th way, playing first down the Elysian Fields and then, if downwind, not for the green but beyond it, leaving himself an easy run-up shot against the slope to lie dead and get his 4. The principle of the 16th hole is the proximity of the principal's nose bunker to the boundary, and the difficulty in placing one's shot in such a small space with all the slopes leading to the bunker. There is a perfectly easy route to the left, but the player will probably lose a stroke by taking it. From here, Grant's and Wigg's bunkers protect the green, and it is tilted right to left. The 17th is almost too well known to need description, probably the most noted in the world. Although so difficult, it is not impossible for the long handicap player, for he can go pottering along, steering wide of all hazards, and losing strokes because he refuses to take any risks. It is the sporting approach to the green, with the rolled hole bunker and its slopes intervening, which makes this hole of such intense interest. Notwithstanding the abuse showered on it, this bunker has done more to sustain the popularity of St Andrews than any feature on the course. Bobby Jones avoided it and the mistake of playing this as a two-shot hole by placing his second in a small hollow below the bank on the right-hand side of the green, invariably then laying his ball dead and getting his fall. After this hole of such distinction and disaster, the 18th need have no great terrors. We drive over the burn, cross the picturesque old stone bridge, and avoiding the grosser forms of sin, such as slicing it into the windows of the Russack's Hotel, hole out in 4, under the critical gaze of those that lean on the railing. Today, the modern game of strength and loft will no doubt nullify these subtleties, but on the occasions when the ground is firm and sporty, and the wind is a factor, the run-up shot will again be essential, and the contours of the old will come alive again. At least modern demands from players for equity and for fairness have been ignored here, and this old links has largely escaped destruction by vandals in the shape of amateur golf architects and administrators. It is of vital importance to avoid anything that tends to make the game simple and stereotyped. On the contrary, every endeavour should be made to increase its strategy, its variety, mystery, charm and elusiveness, so that we shall never get bored of it, but continue to pursue it with increasing zest. It must be remembered that golf is not a mathematical business. It is a game best played with spirit, and best of all, played at St Andrews.